And I think we're good to get started. First off, how does the sound? Is my mic loud enough? And how's my font size too? Let's see. Too small, or is that big enough? I think we're gonna get started. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead, and I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is start working on this server. So I'm gonna be starting totally from scratch here. I just have a README, and I'm gonna just start off. I'm gonna be using Typeform for this. Hey guys, thanks. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the get starting for it that they recommend. So let's go ahead and install these guys. So I need Typeform, reflect metadata, and I think I'm just gonna use the quick start because I don't feel like setting it up. So let's go ahead and do that. And I don't know if I can do it. I already have a folder for this. I might have to rename it. So let's go ahead and say CodePonder 2. And I'm gonna use Postgres. Alright, let's go into that. And I guess I'm just gonna move everything over to my other folder. Reason for that is this already has my Git set up in it, so just be easier that way. Go ahead and kill that. You want me to speak louder? I'm going to just go over to OBS and increase my mic volume. And we can just pump this up. Let's say like 150. Is that better? Alright, so I override the README. And did I delete the wrong folder? I probably did, didn't I? Yeah, I killed the wrong folder. That's awkward. So what do I have now? I have CodePonder 2. Let's just kill that and start all the way over. So I'm just going to call this CodePonder. And let's do Postgres. Alright. Now we're good to go. And I actually don't like the tsconfig that comes with this, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab one that I used before. And let's go ahead and just grab it from a full stack. And do I have it in the root? Nope, but I have a tslint, which we might grab later. And I don't need this, and I'm not using a composite project. Doesn't look like I set that. That looks sweet. Package.json needs to be upgraded, I believe. So I think it starts with old projects. So I can just say upgrade interactive, latest. No log file. Oh, we need to install it first, I guess. And I want to go ahead and just get that. I think I'm just going to have to force push. That'll be the easiest way to sync it with GitHub. And then let's go ahead and upgrade that. And it looks like I need to upgrade my yarn too. Upgrade. Let's go ahead and upgrade my yarn real quick. Could be live for 24 hours, but I am probably going to be sleeping. And let's go ahead and just grab you. I'm going to say get remote add origin. Get remote add origin. legend. Why didn't? Oh, because this is not a Git repo. Okay. And let's see. We have a git ignore, and we have node modules out. Perfect. We're just gonna say code ponder here. And we'll just say initial commit. Thanks, man. And we'll call it say to master. And we're gonna go ahead and force push. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So we have the latest package. Let's go ahead and start up we're gonna be creating Apollo server. We're gonna be using Apollo server 2. And let's go ahead, just go to Apollo server, do the getting started, and I'm actually gonna skip to the one where we set up an Express server. And reason for that is I want to use some Express middleware later. I forget where the heck this is. It's somewhere in here. Next steps maybe. There we go. Alright, so we're going to install this. We're also going to grab Express. And then we're also going to need to, I should also include GraphQL in that. GraphQL. GraphQL Yoga is a good choice too. I think they're still using Apollo Server 1. So I pretty much am just scooting up to Apollo Server 2 since that's the latest. And Apollo Server 2 is going to be working with all like the latest Apollo Engine stuff in their little platform. Yeah, you want to see my VS Code settings? Let's go to Preferences, Settings, and let's go Open Settings. So here are all my settings. I am half self-taught, half I went to school at university. Oh, you want plugins? I have a computer science degree, but I pretty much learned all my web development stuff on my own. So there you go. My top picks are Bracket. I like that one. Glean is decent so far. GraphQL, definitely. Keyboard, I'm using a DAS keyboard. That's DAS. I'm not using Prisma for this because I'm just more comfortable with Typeform right now. And so the faster that I can code it, the better. Alright, so we installed those packages. We're going to have to grab the types for Express and the types for GraphQL. Thanks, Moist. Appreciate that. And then on our server over here, we're going to just set that up. So let's go ahead and copy this. Yeah, Typeform is the one I like the best right now, especially for TypeScript. And we need to have reflect metadata at the top. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Typeform connection right now. And let's go ahead and change this to imports. Alright, I did that totally backwards. So we want to do that. There we go. Say from. Do you have a site for searching remote work? I do not currently. But I do need to set that up. Alright, so server, apply middleware, our app. This is going to be from Express. Yes, I'm using Vim right now, and it's not like amazing, but it's decent Vim plugin, and I cannot code without Vim these days. Express. Const app is equal to Express. Alright, cool. So I can start this up now. I don't have any type defs or resolvers. It didn't give me any, did they? Nope, looks like I'm just gonna have to create my own to test it out real quick. So I'm gonna say const typedefs, and we're just gonna say GQL. And this GQL comes from Apollo's server now. And we're gonna pick, I guess let's just do a query. And we're gonna just say hello, which returns a string. And let's grab some resolvers, and we'll get rid of that for now. And we're gonna say hello, just gonna say hi. And let's go ahead and start this. And let's go to my package.json. So I have my yarn start here. We have TS node for that. That seems good. I also want to go ahead and just add something called node daemon, and that way we get changes as I do it. You use TypeScript and Typeform. Why not give a try with Nest.js? I actually want to. It looks kind of interesting. I just haven't had a chance to try it out yet. And so here I'm going to say nodeman exec. We're going to say TS node in our index folder. Cool. And let's start that up. And I think I have, what's it called? Hello defined in resolvers, but not in the schema. Did I mess this up somehow? Oh, okay, yeah. So GQL is coming from there. Type query. I'm doing something weird wrong, I think. This looks like a simple fix, and something I just remembered is I want to set up tmux real quick, and I think I have tmux running. So I'm just going to kill all my sessions. What do I say? 0? I forget what I have to do to kill my sessions. Nope, there we go. I just killed them one at a time. Hello is defining resolvers, but not in my schema. I'm doing something simple here, but wrong. So what keyboard are you using? I'm using a DAS keyboard. Where do I work? I'm currently doing some consulting with a group called The Guild. So I have yet to use Yarn and use NPM for most projects. I like Yarn better. It just seems to be faster whenever I'm using it, and I have less problems with it. But I mean, both work. And also, Yarn workspaces are huge. Next.js is really great for server-side rendering, but complexities, and I'm actually going to be giving Next.js this try for this. Good luck, Ben. Thought you were going to use Hasura, but maybe too risky. Yeah, I'm going to go with something that I'm familiar with, because I basically don't want to just get stuck in a point where I'm now just kind of like debugging Hasura the whole time and trying to figure out. So I definitely see myself trying that out in the future. Yeah, Nest is not equal to Next. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and figure out what I'm doing wrong now. So this should be query. And there we go. Let's see if that's good now. And if I come over here, we should see our playground. Awesome. And I'm going to say hello. And we're there. Perfect. So our server is set up. Mic's a little low. All right, we can pump it up a little bit more. Let's go advanced audio properties. Let's call it 175. And all right, I guess the first thing that I want to do is do authentication and get a user account set up. And for that, I want to set up a UUID. So I'm just going to go over to the full stack clone. I'm going to go to packages, server, source, entity, user. Okay. Yeah, this was just, I wanted to check how I was doing UUIDs. Looks like I'm just setting it like that. Awesome. And we're going to have a username, which is a string. Yeah, I'm just using one screen right now. More info about your setup, please use your lamp plugged into your VCR. Oh, no, I just have a lamp, and I think there's like a printer back there. Yeah, play it, save, you can do it. Yeah, that's the plan, is just do what I am familiar with. for this particular project anyway. So username we're also going to have an email, and we're going to have a password. And we might add more stuff to this later, but this is going to be our initial user account. And all right, that's our migrations folder. Let's go ahead and make a function. So I'm going to have a function here, which I'm going to call, and do I want to export it? Nah, I don't want to. I'm going to call it just start server. Going to make this asynchronous, and we're going to put all this stuff in it. And then I'm just going to start server below here. The reason why I'm doing this is I can make this function asynchronous now. And so I'm going to create a function over here. I'm going to create a typeworm connection. I'm just going to call it create typeworm con. I think some people were streaming were like learning how to code with React for their projects. Yeah, and React's also one of the things that's kind of has a steeper learning curve too, so it's going to be harder to pick it up at first. So let's export our function here. How can I survive with only one screen? It's 27 inches, so that helps. And also, I just kind of have gotten used to it from doing videos. So kind of from that. So let's, I guess we'll just return. I don't think I want to do anything special. Create typeworm connection. So we're going to say create connection. And the reason why I'm making a function just to call the create connection is because I might want to change the properties of this later. And I don't want to get it from net. I want to get it from typeworm. There we go. Yes, you can ask me a thing. And let's just keep the default for now, and let's see if that works. What do I even have for the default? I actually don't know. Okay, so the username password is all test. So I'm going to call Postgres, and I'm going to call the database code ponder. And yep, looks good to me. And let's go ahead and call that here. Create typeworm connection. And now I can await this creating of that. And I'm just going to see if that crashes. Database code ponder doesn't exist. Let's create that real quick. Create db code ponder. I used to program PHP version 5, but I got PHP version 7. Oh, we need to add this function to our database. We'll do that in a second. And I have to restructure for this new version. Any tips? I actually am not really familiar with PHP, so I can't really say. My tip is to just, usually when I do refactorings like that, sometimes tests help a lot, so making sure you're not breaking stuff in the middle. Do you like the auto import VS Code extension? I'm not using it, but I am using this one called Move TS. That basically will allow me to move TypeScript files and then auto corrects all the imports. Because I found the one that comes with VS Code doesn't always work all the time. Yeah, I could use code from one of my projects, but I feel like starting from scratch because it's going to be a little bit different and it doesn't take too long to get set up. Yep, that's the Discord. So yeah, let's go ahead and add this. So Postgres add UUID function. Awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and create a modules. And in modules is where I'm going to basically split all my type deaths and my resolvers. And I'm going to create a folder here called user. And this is basically how I like to split up my schema. And let's start with a register. So in register here, I'm going to create a schema.graphql. And in here, I'm just going to say type. It's going to be a mutation. And here we need three things: the username, which is a string, the email, and the password. And now you'll notice I'm passing it as 3 arguments. I think I like creating an input slightly better. And then here all you say is, I'm going to call it input, and we'll say register input. And then I'm going to create a response for it. And that's required. And here what I'm going to say is we're going to have some errors that we return. And the error, it's going to be a special type that we're going to create, and it's going to be an array. And we'll sometimes have errors, sometimes not have errors. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So it's not going to be required. And then I don't think there's anything else I really need to return back right now from the register. And I'm now going to have a resolver for it. What's your programming background? Actually, let's create this as just an object. I'm going to say mutation, register, and then we're going to put stuff there. I want to stitch the schema together and just make sure that's working, and then we'll implement what that register is. But my programming background is, you can pretty much, if you go back to the archive I have on YouTube and see the first videos that I made, that's pretty much where I started. I did some stuff before that, like learning Java and Python, and then that's kind of my beginning of web development. Oh, good point, good point. Let's go do that right now. Not my tsconfig, my orm config. Let's go ahead and do that. Good catch. That definitely would probably cause us a problem later. And so now what I want to do is I want to grab the resolver and schema over here in my register, but I also want to grab them everywhere. So for this, what I'm going to use is GraphQL modules. Let's see. Is it this? Here we go. So with this package, we're going to go get started, and we're going to go to API reference. Is this what I want? No. There we go. So I want the sonar and this epoxy package. And do they have an example? I think they have it in the documentation. And we're going to go to load schema and resolvers. So this is going to be a similar setup to what we have. We're going to have a bunch of GraphQL files spread out all over the place and a bunch of resolvers all over the place. So we can use these two packages to basically create our GraphQL schema for us. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to say create schema. Okay, so we need to add both these packages. And I'm already at the point where I'm ready for tmux. So let's go ahead and add that. And cd into, okay, we don't have a server package yet. Okay, so here we specify where we get this from. So it's going to be the modules folder for us. And I guess we should actually go ahead and create the schema too. Did VS Code freeze for me? There we go. I want to create a executable schema, and that's going to be coming from GraphQL tools. Do I not have this? Okay, it's called make. And give that a save. So now in my index over here, that's what I do. Check out Nest.js. Yes, I've been meaning to do that. It looks like a pretty good server setup. Is that what you use yourself? So let's see if that worked. All right, error not found in the document. That's awesome. So I'm going to create a folder called shared, and in the shared folder, I'm going to create a error.graphql. We're going to have a path, and we're going to have a message. Is the UI mockup for this app basically on your brain at the moment? Will you be using Material I or something similar? So basically, I have no UI mockup in my brain right now, and I have no idea how I'm planning on doing that. I think I definitely am going to use a UI framework for it. I'm thinking I'm going to go with semantic UI for it, but I have no idea what it's going to look like, and it's definitely going to be, we're going to be coding for the first portion, and then the last portion is going to be figuring out the design. Yep, going with typeform for this one. And let's go ahead and just say I'm going to return an errors object. And it's going to be an empty array. Alright, we still got an error. Query root type must be provided. I'm wondering if it can't find it. You can do both. What am I making? I'm going to be making a basically a platform for code reviews where people can get code reviews and give code reviews. So we're not getting the expected resolvers in schema here. Yeah, we might need to add type graph. I was thinking we might need like type query here, but I don't think that's what we need. I think the problem is, oh, you know what? We actually do need that. We need to have at least a query somewhere. So I guess we can put it there for now and then add it later. Must be provided. We're going to restart this and see if we still get that error. I also want to just log this. So I'm going to copy this and just see what it's picking up. Because I might just have the setup for this wrong. Alright, so it is currently getting a array. Oh, it doesn't let us do a empty type of query. I think just from like the initial glance at that, what this logged, I think that's correct. Oh, you know, it's going to ask us for stuff. All right, why don't we just add one more real quick. I'm going to call it me. And I'm actually not even using my headphones right now. I'm just going to take them off. I'm using Fish Shell right now. And I think I have my dot files on GitHub if you just search for Binawad on there. So I'm going to create a query, and this query is going to be me, and it's going to possibly return a user. So in this user folder, I'm going to create a shared, and we're going to say user.graphql, and we're going to have a username string, email string, and an ID. We could also have like a created at and update at. Not sure if we're going to need that though. Schema, that looks good. So now I just need to add resolvers for this. And we're just going to return null. Did you get your consulting job from Discord? I did not. In Nest.js, it's automatic schema splitting and type generation for TypeScript. Okay, that is really nice. I would love to have that. I'm currently on an iMac. Hey, Rodin. Okay, I think it crashed. I was waiting for it to respawn. Let's go ahead and just restart it totally. Thanks, Healthy. Cool, it worked. Alright, so that worked. Hey, Frank. Let's go ahead and close all this other stuff that I had from a previous project. So now we can actually start adding the logic. Yes. Ooh, I really want to add, I want to add types to my resolvers. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for that. Well, I could end up doing that. So this recently just came out with a new version that I'm kind of curious to try out. And basically we can use this to generate the types for our resolvers. But it's going to take some time to set this up. But I kind of want it. No, I'm going to wait and do this later. I think for now I'm just going to have no type definitions for my resolvers. And we'll see how bad this ends up being. So alright, so we have a parent, which I don't care about. The arguments, we're going to have a username, email, password. Hey, very nice project. I'm just throwing an idea out there. Don't know if it's relevant, but consider giving the possibility for coders to include a kind of functional document with their code so the code reviewer can know what is the purpose. I like that idea. What do you think about like, so what I'm thinking is linking to like a GitHub repo. And so what do you think just like including that document on the GitHub repo for the user to look at? basically how I'm going to know whether the register worked is I'm going to check the errors. If errors is null, then I know it worked. Am I going to write any tests? I may write some tests, but I'm going to be writing very few of them. What would you use in the parent for in the resolver? Use the parent if you have nested resolvers. Is there any need with 100 viewers to spot things? Deconstruct arguments from input property. Ah, perfect. Look at that. I already have my first typo. All right. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be straight. This is going to be straight problematic, not having type definitions here probably. I'm just having a mental battle of whether I want to set them up now or to just continue going. All right, we're going to set them up. And if I can't get this GraphQL code generator to work from the repo here, we'll just go ahead and go with GraphQL gen. Alright, so let's see if we can figure out how to get this set up. I don't think that tells us anything. Okay, here's tells us a little bit. Actually, let's add it as a dev dependency. Have you been using the use reducer hook lately? I keep getting an object. It's not a function error, even though I copy React's example. Are you using 16.7? I do not have a donation link set up right now. I guess I can just send you to my Patreon. Maybe not the best idea to try something new you don't know really well. Yeah, I agree. But I'm definitely going to be doing some new stuff in this project anyway. And I think we're going to get some nice gains out of getting setting this up. I'm not sure if I want .d.ts or just .ts. We'll keep this for now. So it couldn't connect. Okay, so I crashed it. All right, now we can generate the types. Awesome. All right, now we have type definitions. Do I prefer an office environment or working remotely as a programmer? I like both. I think I don't mind either. Both have their pros and cons. So it's interesting, this query is optional, but this mutation is required. All right. Does it also say what the response should be? Yeah, it does. So what is the easiest way to set this up? Error. So arguments. Now I'm wondering if I just need to add the I think I just need to add the resolver one. To generate what I want to know for the resolvers, I'm guessing. I need to install it. What's my monthly salary? Don't really have one. It fluctuates a lot because I do consulting. Okay, code ponder. All right, let's generate the types. All right, this is what I was looking for. So let's pass that in over here. So you don't have a full-time job. I do not have a full-time job. So I don't know how I want to apply this. I could say like as mutation resolvers. Cannot use namespace. I think I can do -- files to get this to work, but I'm just going to call this types.ts. All right. Are you a student? No, I graduated in August. I think I have to do dot. And I think I need to apply it. I don't think I'm applying it correctly. Let's see if they have example. I can just copy paste. Okay, so query resolvers. Okay, so this is how they set it up. What is it? Mutation resolvers. All right, that looks better. Why don't you get a full-time job? I like being my own boss. Do you prefer TypeScript over JavaScript? Yes, I would pick TypeScript for pretty much any project these days over JavaScript. Okay, so that's problematic. Okay. I think they're doing a different setup than I am. Alright, so this thing would work. It's kind of messy though, so I don't think I really like this. There's probably a cleaner way to do this, but we're going to get type definitions this way. Have you had any experience with Rust and WASM? No, I haven't. So you earn more than a full-time coder. I do not. All destructured elements are unused. Alright, I'm going to just keep this pattern for now. This is the pattern I'll use. I don't love it. There's probably a better way. I feel like I could get rid of this intermediate step somehow, but we'll use it for now. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue on with this. We need to create a user, and we need to hash the password. I'm going to go ahead and just use Argon 2 for this. We'll see if we have any problems with it, and then we can always switch now for bcrypt if we do. Yeah, Argon 2 is supposed to be better than bcrypt. I don't know if I need type definitions for it or if it comes with. Yep, it looks like it comes with. Thanks, Blue. Appreciate it. What's wrong with bcrypt? I don't think there's anything wrong with bcrypt. I think this is just supposed to be a more secure hashing. So plain and then options. And then we'll just create our user. And I don't even think we need to do anything with that. So we're just going to say user. Dot. Are you planning to move the business logic into service files? I never see you do it in your videos. Kind of like splitting up my resolvers themselves like this, and then just putting the logic in the resolver itself. Okay, so that's going to create our user. I want to have an email and a username that is unique. It's going to be an entity. Eben, thank you so much for your daily videos on YouTube. How can I subscribe to your channel? Not follow, but paid subscription. I don't see the option in your channel. Oh, like the sponsor that they have. I don't think I have enough. I don't think my channel is big enough to have like the YouTube official sponsor thing set up yet. I have a Patreon, but other than that, that's pretty much the best way if you want to do that. So I need to catch the unique errors now. So I'm going to say try catch. And I actually don't even know what the error message looks like that comes back from it. So we're just going to log it and see what it is. So in this case, we're going to be creating an email that's already taken. Okay, so what I'm looking for now is something unique, so that way I know that it's the email that's taken. So detail key email is equal already exists. This message is absolutely useless for sending to the user. Detail, I think, would work. Alright, so if it includes already exists and that, we're going to check whether it's an email or not. And it's possible that both the email and the username actually has a problem, so I want to see what that looks like. Thanks, man. So the message here is going to be already email taken, or already in use, I think is what they say. And then for the username, we're going to say already taken. The other thing we need to do with the username is to verify it is, like, you can't do special characters and stuff, so I think we're going to write a regular expression so it only has, like, letters and numbers, and, like, maybe underscores. Are you using any build tool? So what I'm using right now is TS Node and TypeScript, so in that sense I guess you could say there's a build tool, but I'm not using Babel or Webpack right now. And our username's already taken. We're logging that, so let's see what that looks like. So run this again. Email's already in use. Alright, so what happens if we have both of them? Looks like it errors out on the username too. It doesn't look like it's possible for both the email and the username to give us a unique error back, which I guess is fine. Do you like to use Webpack and Babel in your normal production projects for this server? I don't tend to use Webpack. If I'm using JavaScript, I will use Babel though. And I mean, even now I could consider using Babel though, just because you can add the TypeScript plugin, but I think using the TypeScript compiler is better. Alright, so I'm happy with this part. Well, let's go ahead and add one thing at the top here, and here's where we're just going to validate the username. And for validation, I like to use yup. Any thoughts on email already in use being a security risk? Yes, actually I don't tend to say that an email is already in use. I'll just say invalid password or invalid login. Well, I guess with register, so I will do that with login. Like if the email is not there, like if someone so like someone can basically figure out which emails are in use on your website by going through and registering or logging in and checking what the error message is. I don't tend to worry about it for register. I do go ahead and just say invalid password for logging in. I don't know if it's worth doing that for register because I'm not sure like how else to tell them that it didn't work, if that makes sense. If there's a better generic message to give them. Like if I register with an account and it just tells me something went wrong, I don't really know as a user what to do next. I think the better thing is to just rate limit your register. Alright, so we're going to add yep. Oh, you know what? I need to set my streamer mode real quick. Alright, what we're going to do is I'm going to go make another cup of tea, and I want to set up my streamer mode in Discord real quick. So I'm going to take a short break real quick, and I guess, did I set that up? So I have this little image right here for when I'm doing API keys. If I go to the 24-hour startup, and we'll go to assets. Oh, maybe it's profile. Do I have to go profile? Is it here? There we go. Alright, so I have this little screen they made me, which is nice. Oh, I'm echoing? Maybe it's because I'm too close to my thing. My mic break screen. Oh. There we go. My bad. I shouldn't have that tab up. It's when I had Twitch up and the sound from that and then me talking. Alright, so I downloaded that. And let's create a new image. So this is going to be, can I rename? Yes.